everyone, welcome to Checkpoint. Yeah, it's your host again, Dr. Ifeoma Eze, and I'm right here with something very wonderful for you today at Checkpoint. I always start by saying thank you, and thank you again for all that you do for us here at Checkpoint. Thank you for liking our videos, thank you for sharing our videos, thank you for posting your wonderful comments in our videos, and most importantly, thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Now, because of all that you do, our message is reaching a wider audience, and for this we are indeed very grateful. Now, you know how we roll at Checkpoint. It's time for Checkpoint. Please go ahead, invite your friends, invite your relations, invite your associates, invite your neighbors. Let every one of them know that it is time for Checkpoint, and I can't wait to share with you what I have for you today. It's going to be very wonderful. And remember that here at Checkpoint, we always give you content that equip, edify, and empower you to become the very best version of yourself. I can't wait to share with you the topic I have for today. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you keep sharing the link, share the link to everyone that you know, and I'll be right back after the break. See you. Welcome back, everyone. Now, today on Checkpoint, my topic is the dangers of living passively. The dangers of living passively. By way of definition, what is living passively? Living passively is a situation whereby an individual just lets life happen to him or to her. In this kind of situation or scenario, this individual is not taking charge or taking control of their own life. What they do is just to allow life to happen to them, allow events to happen to them. They are not actively in control, they are not actively in charge of their own experiences, so they just let things happen, they just let life happen. They assume that things will just happen the way they want to happen, and this is usually characterized by a lack of initiative, a lack of taking action, and a lack of assertiveness. When you see an individual like this, they just believe que sera, whatever will be, a future we cannot tell. They believe so much in this. Instead of being proactive about their life, they rather just take it the way they see. All right, they just allow events happen to them, and they believe that whatever happens to them is exactly how it was supposed to happen from the very beginning. And this is what it simply means by to live passively. Now, you may be asking, why is it even necessary for somebody to choose not to live passively? Let me tell you, the truth of the matter is this. In as much as you want to have control or be in charge or take charge of what is happening in your life, take charge and take control of what's happening in your life, there are certain things in life that will certainly happen that will be beyond your control. So there will be certain things that will happen in your life, things that you try to control that refuse to be controlled, things that you try to take charge of that were just above you, and somehow they still happened because you really do not have control over it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the things that can happen when you take control, the things that can actually happen if you take charge of your life. These are the things I want us to focus on. So it is wisdom for you to know the things that you can change, and wisdom for you to know the things that you cannot change. Now, I'm not referring to the things that no matter what you do, you cannot change, right? But I'm talking about the things that you can actually take control and take charge of. It is very expedient that you live a life that is proactive. You don't just wait for life to happen to you, you happen to life. You tell life what life has to give to you, what life has to be for you, what life has to look like for you. It's not just about you living day by day, hoping, oh, whatever will be, you know, I just came to this earth, I'm just going to flow with the tides. Whatever happens, I'll just flow with it. That is not a very tactical and intentional way to live. In this year, we have to live very intentionally. We have to live more intentionally. We have to live deliberately, which means that we allow our days to count. We make sure that every day is a plus, that every day we are living for something tangible, and this is one of those sure ways for you to make sure that you're not living passively. Now, in case what I'm saying is not sinking in yet, I'd like to show you the signs that you are actually living passively. Number one sign that you're actually living passively is that you come to that point where you gradually allow life to happen to you. You are not in control of what happens. You don't take charge of what happens. You can't even dictate what can happen based on what you have done today, what should happen to you, for you tomorrow. You just let life happen to you. You wake up every morning, you just go with the flow. Whatever feels good to you, you do. Whatever feels right to you, you do. That is an indication that you are living passively. Number two way that you know that you're living passively is that you're just leading a simple and easy life. You don't want stress. You don't want to be bothered. You want to just do things how they come, when they come, when you feel like doing them. You just want a very simple, easy life. I hear some ladies say, oh, I want to relax and be taken good care of. Everybody really wants to relax and be taken good care of. But then the issue is this: you have to take control of certain areas of your life if you really want tangible results. Another sign that you are living passively is that you don't bother yourself with challenges, right? So you don't want challenges, you don't take any risk, you don't fight for anything, you don't go through any challenges. You're not even willing to, even if that challenge is within your control, you're not willing to even bother yourself with it. So you think, oh well, every other person can do that, that's not for me. I don't want the stress, I don't want the trouble. That is an indication that you are living passively. Number four way through which you know that a sign that tells you that you're living passively is that you're not willing to take chances. You're not willing to take chances. You're not willing to take risk. You want things to be done easily. You just want to live the way you want to live. You don't want to try anything new. You don't want to try anything that is beyond your regular 9 to 5 or your regular to-do schedule. You don't want to take chances on anything. You just want things to flow as they come. That is an indication that you are living passively. Number five way through which you know that you're living passively is that you don't even express your opinions. So there are opinions you have about certain situations, opinions you have about certain scenarios, opinions you have about certain events, but you don't feel like airing them. You believe that nobody's going to hear you. After all, even what I'm going to say is not going to change anything. That moment you come to that point where you feel like even what I have to say does not matter. Understand that you're living passively is that you just avoid everything that causes trouble. So you don't want to cause trouble, you're afraid. Even when it means you standing for what you believe, even when it means you standing by what is right, even when it means you saying no to what you don't want because you think it's going to cause trouble, you just try to avoid it. That is you living passively. If you just joined us, we're talking about the dangers of living passively. And I said earlier that living passively simply means allowing life to happen to you. It means that you're not taking charge or control of the events that happen in your life, of the circumstances that come your way, and you are not actively taking decisions that will shape your life, that will shape your experiences. Rather, you are characterized by lack of initiative, lack of action, lack of decisive action, lack of assertiveness, because you just don't want trouble, just because you just want things to happen the way they are supposed to happen. But that's not taking control of your life. Last one I'll be sharing with you today, another sign that you are living passively is that you hardly make big decisions in life. So you think that your decisions may not count. You think that those decisions are not the best kind of decisions. You are just afraid of making decisions because you think that, well, no matter what I decide, life will still happen to me. That is a proof that you are living passively. So today what I came to do was simply to share with you about the dangers of living passively. It is not good for you. You cannot allow life to just happen to you. You need to choose to do differently. So today I'll really be focusing just on the aspect of the reasons why people live passively. Why do people live passively? What is their strong reason for choosing to live passively? Is that the best way to go? Is that the right way to go? Why do people just generally decide to live passively and they just say, oh, whatever will happen, all right, I'm used to this, let me just live the life that I am used to? So number one thing I like to share with you is habits. habits. Habits are one of the major reasons why people live passively. You know, somebody said to me, oh, this is the way I was born, this is how I have always been from the time I was a child. My parents saw me, they understood that this is who I am, and they don't bother about it, so everybody has to accept me just the way I am. So listen to me, it is true that we as human beings, we are creatures of habits. However, if you know better, you have to improve on your habits. You have to improve on the way you behave. You have to improve on the things that you do. It is commonly said that anything you do repeatedly for the next 21 days eventually becomes a habit in your life. So if you have habits that are inhibiting you, habits that are not letting you become your better self, habits that are not allowing you to become the better version of yourself, habits that no longer serve you in the direction that you want to go to, you need to go back and recultivate new habits. All right, so in as much as those old habits were cultivated sometime, new habits can equally be cultivated in order to ensure that you have the habits that sustain where you are going to. You know, you have to break free from those old patterns. You have to break free from those old habits, because when you know better, you will do better. With fresh knowledge, you are able to make fresh impact. With fresh knowledge, you are able to make newer resolutions in your life and create newer habits that will assist you to where you are going to. All right, this is very, very important. If you have built a habit around your life, maybe it's like an old wall, you need to go back and break down those walls so you can break free. You have to be willing to disrupt your old patterns. You have to be willing to tell yourself, this is how I used to behave, and it did not serve me well, it did not serve me in the direction I am going to, and this is the new direction I am going to now. Therefore, I need to cultivate habits that will be able to sponsor me and elevate me into the new platform that I want to find myself in. So number one reason why people do live passively is because of habits. They are used to it. This is the life they have always known. This is the way they have always known, and they feel more comfortable doing the same old things. But I tell you the truth, it is only a fool that keeps doing the same old things and expects a newer result. It's only a fool that keeps doing the same old habits, exhibiting the same old habits, and then you expect new results in your life. It doesn't work like that. So if you want to get new results, you need to break down old habits, and that's one of the reasons why people live a very passive life. So don't live a passive life. All right, I'll share with you number two. So number two reason why people live passively is that they have this fear of the unknown. They are scared. They don't know what tomorrow holds. They don't know what the future holds for them. So they are just in a fix of some sort. You know, sometimes because you are stepping into uncertainty, you don't get comfortable. Nobody gets comfortable in the midst of uncertainty. So some people will say, I'd rather stick with the same old problem I know, I'd rather stick with the same old mode I know, rather than step into an environment where I don't understand what's going to happen, where I don't understand how the situation is going to be. You know, they would rather stick with what they know than risk stepping into a solution that they don't know what's going to turn out to be. So this is the situation that happens with most people, especially when they are living passively. They just don't know. You know, they feel the known is safer. You know, the known is the comfort zone, because they just want to be comfortable rather than step into uncertainty, and because of that, they rather just remain where they are. Okay, so number three reason why we live life passively is self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is a situation whereby we ourselves are the true enemy of what we're doing. So we are the true enemy of our life. We are not willing to do what we are expected to do in order to create that change, in order to make that difference in our lives. So deep down in our hearts, we do not even believe that we deserve more, that we deserve better. Some of us do not even believe that we deserve the good things happening in our lives. We do not believe that we deserve to have a better future, a better life, a higher degree, a better academic future, a better business. You know, we think that who are we? After all, we know where we're coming from. So what makes us think that we can do better than our fathers, than our grandfathers before them? You know, and because of that, we like self-sabotage. When you do this, you are simply living passively. So when people do that, they just simply just go out there and they begin to ruin the chances that they get. They even ruin these chances before they even ruin things before they get the chance to fix it. They ruin things, they because they don't know better. All right, because they have something that is inside them that has just wired them up for struggle. They believe that they have to struggle to get to any point. They have to struggle to do what they're supposed to do. They have to struggle, and even with the struggle, they don't believe that something good can come out of it. So some people, and you won't blame them, it's something that's been wired in their mentality for so long, by society, by family members, by people who tell them they will never amount to anything, they will never do well. So what do? They just simply self-sabotage because they do not believe that they deserve any good thing coming their way, and so they just live passively. And number 4 reason why people live passively is just because of lack of self-discipline. You see, discipline is the soul of every army. Discipline will make you it. In fact, discipline feels like you cutting off some things from your body. Discipline will never be convenient. Let me say this again. Discipline, self-discipline will never be convenient. Anytime you're looking for convenience and discipline do not go hand in hand. They cannot be found in the same sentence. All right, discipline is knowing what is right and choosing to do what is right even when it is very difficult. That's what discipline is. You have to do what is right. You have to choose to do what is right. In fact, discipline is doing what is right even when others are doing different things. That is what discipline is. You have to build discipline into your system. You have to build discipline into your life. You have to build discipline so that you can be able to choose long-term good over short-term ease. Long-term good over short-term ease. In the short term, it is easy. In the short term, it is convenient. If you observe very carefully, I am shooting this particular video under intense heat. I have done everything I can to get my AC working, and it's not working. And I am shooting despite I am sweating, and that is what I refer to as discipline. Discipline is never convenient. In fact, I have thought of canceling this particular video several times, but I know that sometimes that particular video you really want to cancel out is the one that might be a huge blessing to somebody else out there. So it is taking a huge amount of discipline for me to sit down under this light without convenient air conditioning and giving you this content. So discipline will make you to sacrifice your time, sacrifice your ease, sacrifice your pleasure, sacrifice the things that are very important to you in order to get things that are more important, not just to you, but to your destiny and to so many other people at large. And that is what I call self-discipline. So instead of choosing to live a very passive life, living anyhow life comes, you can choose to discipline yourself a little, wake up a little earlier, brush yourself up a little, read that book even though you don't feel like doing it. Do it hard. All right, I know it is hard, I know it is difficult, but do it hard. Do it hard. Sit down and read that book. It's hard, yes, sit down and read that book. Go to work, I know it's hard, just do it hard. Whatever it is that you're afraid of, do it hard. You need to write a book, sit down and write that book hard. You need to read a book, sit down and read that book hard. You need to work, sit down and do it hard. You need to sit down to edit a particular video so it will be out. Sit down and edit it. Make it. I know it is hard. Sit down and do it hard. Soft life never got us anywhere. Anything that was ever gotten that was precious in life was gotten through a lot of stress, through a lot of hard work. And don't be afraid to put in the hard work. Don't be afraid to put in discipline that is very required in order to get you where you want to get to. All right, number 5 reason why some people live passively is because of what I call emotional inertia. Emotional inertia. Emotional inertia is a situation whereby people are just tired. They are overwhelmed, because of real life pressure, because of real life worries, anxiety, things that are just overwhelming them. They are not in the mood. All right, they are not in the mood to even care. They're not even in the mood to try anymore. They have tried maybe in the past and they maybe failed, and because of that, they are not willing to try again. You see, in the emotional inertia, the knowledge may be there. So in your heart of hearts, you are supposed to do something with your life. In your heart of heart, you're supposed to sit down and study, but you are tired. You feel overwhelmed. You feel like this is too much. You're asking yourself, why did I even start this in the first place? Why did I start doing this process in the first place? Who sent me? Am I able to do it? Maybe I was not called out to do this kind of thing. Emotional inertia is a real thing. And if you're not careful, you might allow that emotional inertia to become the description of your life, to halt every beautiful thing that's supposed to happen in your life, if only you can push a little harder. I was telling my children about how pearls are created. Pearls are created right in the bottom of the sea, in the bottom of the ocean, and it is created because of pressure, because of a fight, a battle. Things are never ever easy. Beautiful things are created in the midst of pressure. I know you are tired. I know you are overwhelmed. I know you are worried. I know you are sad. I know your mood has been messed up. You can't even get it together. But listen to me. If only you can allow yourself to go past that mood, go past that emotion, go past that feelings of overwhelmingness, you will discover that you will become everything that you have ever dreamt of becoming. Don't allow those words people said to you to get to you. Don't allow what people said to you to become a limiter in your life. Don't put yourself and place a lead over it by virtue of what people said to you, by virtue of what is happening in your life. I know the pressure is real. I know the challenges are real. I know. And sometimes you feel like, I'm tired of life. I just want to pause life. I just want to rest. I'm not in the mood to do anything again. And because of that, you enter what we call emotional inertia. I want to encourage you today. Make up your mind to do it. Do it hard. Do it afraid. Do it because you have to. Never come to the point where you begin to live passively because you think nobody cares, nobody matters anymore. It's not true. You cannot allow your emotions to lead you. As a matter of fact, you have to overcome your emotions. Don't allow your emotions to be the deciding factor of your life. Don't allow your emotions to become what decides the direction in which your life is going. You tell yourself, no, I have my life. My emotions don't control me. I control my emotions, and go ahead and never allow your emotions to decide who you will become in this life. The truth of the matter is this: every one of us have something that gets us worried. Every one of us have something that gets us sad. But you cannot afford to live in that realm of sadness, in that realm of worry, in that realm of anxiety. You have to step above it in order for you to become the better version of yourself. So let me share with you number six reason why people live passively. Number 6 is because they have what we call cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is a situation whereby there is a disconnect between your actions and what you know. So you know you're supposed to do the right thing. You know you're supposed to work hard. You know you're supposed to read for your exams. But there is this internal conflict that will not allow what you know to match your actions. I don't know about you, but I know this has happened to almost like every one of us. There's a time I am supposed to be reading now, but somehow you're not reading. You tell yourself, I'm supposed to be exercising or working out now, but you're not doing that. Sometimes you tell yourself, I am supposed to be working on my trade or my business right now, but you just don't feel like. That is cognitive dissonance. It is a situation whereby there's a disconnect between our actions and what we know. And instead of changing, sometimes we just tell ourselves, we just have to live it like that. We try to justify this situation. We try to justify the condition that we have found ourselves in. So we say things like, don't worry, I will do it later. Don't worry, there's still time. I can do it next week, and you keep procrastinating, and then unfortunately later never comes. And then sometimes you tell yourself, it's not that bad. It's not really that bad. If I don't do this thing now, nothing else is going to happen. At least I'm better than how I used to be before. This kind of things, justification, are the things that allow you to remain in a state of cognitive dissonance. You're not able to break free. You're not able to do better because you keep telling yourself, well, I know I'm supposed to do this thing, but I cannot. You justify it. Don't worry, somebody else will do it. It's possible that they don't even want to hear what I have to say. You are supposed to shoot a video. You tell yourself, don't worry, I'll do it next time. Or maybe somebody else is even doing it better. Maybe they've said everything I'm supposed to say. Why should I have to go and say it? Listen to me. That is cognitive dissonance, and that's one of the reasons why you are living passively. The time to live passively is gone. Tell yourself, never again. So number 7 reason why people live passively is that of external pressure. The pressure is real. Everybody's doing that. Why must you do this? You're not any different. What makes you think you are so special? Because we don't want to be rejected, because we want to feel like we others, because we want to feel belong, because we want to feel good like others, because we want to be accepted by others. We have this fear of judgment, people judging us differently. We have this fear of rejection. We don't want to be rejected. We want to feel like everybody. We want to be accepted. We don't want to be the odd one out. Because of that, we ignore what we know is right to do. We ignore what we know that can take us to the next level, and we just fall for pressure. So we feel it is better to follow the crowd than to be judged by the crowd. And as a result of this, we see ourselves doing things that we should not do, even though we know we should do better. And this situation makes us to live passively. So we just join others to while away time. Everybody's Netflixing and chilling, and we just have to Netflix and chill with them. We know it is not right, but we just go ahead and still do it because we feel like, well, every other person is doing it, so why shouldn't we also join the bandwagon? Now, number 8 reason why people live passively is what I call reckless curiosity. Reckless curiosity. This reckless curiosity is a situation whereby people say, let me just do it and see what happens. Let me just relax and see what happens. Let's just allow life to be. All this struggle, all this effort, is it really necessary? Let me just relax and see what will happen at the end of the day. There's this element of what if. What if I don't do anything and then eventually things work out? What if I don't go to school and eventually I become another Mark Zuckerberg, or I become another Bill Gates? What if I don't get a job and eventually I get married to somebody who is very wealthy? This element of what if. There is this urge for us to test our limits, push boundaries, experience something for ourselves, even though we know that this thing will likely give us a certain outcome. We know that this is the outcome it will give us, but we'd rather say, oh, let us try our own. Maybe because it didn't work for somebody else, maybe it will work for us, and then we keep feeling like we're the exception. All right, it happens to others. No, for me it can never happen. No, I'm different, I'm unique, that kind of thing. That is one of the other reasons why people live very passively. They just assume that life will happen to them because they are different, they are special, they are a different breed. They will say, I don't know what happened to others, but I know it will happen to me because I am God's child. I'm a wonderful person. Listen to me. You have to take control of your life. You have to take decisions. You have to stand by what you believe and do it because you know it is the right thing for you to do. All right, let's talk about number 9. Number 9 reason why people live passively is what I call comfort and familiarity. So they are comfortable doing what they have always done before. Change for many people is very uncomfortable. Change for many people is very difficult. Sometimes we know that the old way is bad for us, but for us to move from that old way and go to something new is difficult for us, and we choose to stick with what is familiar, even though we know that this familiar, despite the fact that it feels safer, may not eventually be safe for us. So we feel that this familiar old way is safer for us, even though that is not true. So the old things you have been doing are no longer working. It is time for you to step into a new stage, even though it feels uncertain, even though it feels unsure, but you know that sometimes stepping into something new will likely be better for you than remaining with the old. So if you have been living passively all this while, it is time for you to wake up. Don't say, oh, this is how I have been living my life, I feel comfortable living that way. That is not the best way to live your life. That is not the best way to make your decisions. So rise up and choose differently and make that change. You see, change is good, change is necessary, change is essential, and sometimes change is all that you need to become who you are meant to be. All right, so for the last one, number 10 reason why people live passively, I'd like to share with you is what I call outright rebellion. Outright rebellion. Sometimes people just want to do what they want to do. They want to prove. They want to prove that no other way is better. They just want to prove a point. Sometimes we want to prove that the decisions that others are taking is wrong, and because of that we put ourselves in a fix. Sometimes we know that this may be a better way, but because we feel that people are doing that, we want to do something entirely different so that we can stand out, so that we can prove a point that, well, it is not what people are telling us that we're going to do. We're going to do our own thing, you know. That is outright rebellion. And sometimes you're trying to prove a point to a father or a mother or a big brother or a big sister or even a husband or a wife. You want to show them that their own way is not the best way, that what they're doing is not the right way, that you want to prove that your own way is the best way. Sometimes outright rebellion can make us do what we are not supposed to do, or even live passively the way we want to just live. We just want to say, oh, don't worry, I will do nothing. You want me to do something? And sometimes what we forget is that the fact that you are doing something valuable with your life, the fact that a father, a mother, an uncle, an auntie, a big brother, a big sister is compelling you to do something with your life, the fact they are doing that is because they love you. It's not because they want to reap benefits from you. In fact, you're going to be the first beneficiary of a useful life. So when we're asking you to be useful for yourself, we're not asking you to be useful so that you can benefit us. Well, if you benefit us, we will love that. But you will be the first beneficiary of being useful in life. You will be the first beneficiary of being valuable in life. So when somebody is telling you, go ahead, do something with your life, be valuable, put in effort so that you can get the results you want, listen to me. They are not doing it so they can turn you into a cash cow. So all these rebellious acts, you're saying, okay, I'm not going to do anything for my life. Let me see if I'm the one you are depending on. See, that is not a way to live. So this is the much I could bring your way today. I hope you were truly blessed. I hope it's really edified and inspired you. And please let me know. Let me know other reasons why people live passively. And please, in the comment section, help me drop. What do you think people who are living passively should do in order to take better control and better charge of their lives? So these are the few things I wanted to share with you today. I hope they inspired you. Until I come your way again, keep making a positive indelible mark in the lives of people and on the sands of time. I love you so very much. Bye bye for now. Mwah. Hi everyone, I hope you were blessed by that message. All right, so I want you to just go ahead and support us. If you are led, go ahead and just sow into the account right on the screen. And I know that as you do that, God will bless you big time. Because of the seeds you are sowing, you'll be able to reach a wider audience on different platforms. So please do well to sow that seed and God will bless you. Love you.